Good morning, everyone, from Paul at Woody Woodpecker A1. New on the Instagram. You're in my dirty workshop at the moment. I'm very sorry. You won't get dirty. I will. But I'm just going to show you one of these little projects that I've got. And I must say this first off. Thank you to everybody. I've had some contacts come via Facebook and from Instagram and some friends, and I've already got some orders in for Christmas which I didn't really expect. So thank you, I really appreciate it, and it's going to help me out because I work with basic machines here. You'll see what I'm talking about. Most of it's all hand done. I've only got electric planers here, a few cleaners, a few cleaners. I'm the cleaner, believe it or not. Yeah, I just cleaned this place up and it's already absolute disaster. So whatever money I earn from here I'll put back in, and I want to get a vacuum induction system in here. I really needs it. But I use mostly battery operated machines, except for I'm one for a Zito, and if Zito want to sponsor me, by all means. But all my tools here are Zito, except for one sander, which is a Ryobi. I think they're terrific. I love them. Behind me here, which you'll see me operate in a few moments, the noisy machine. My planer, electric planer, is a Zito. My grinder over there, which I'm using as a sander as well, sanding disc on there, that's a Zito. I have a Zito drills. I have an Zito bandsaw. What else do I have? I have a Ryobi rip saw over here. So anyway, enough of all that. No, I don't get sponsored for all these sort of things, but I love the Zito tools. I've never had any problems with them. So I'd highly recommend them. And yeah, so this little project I'm just putting together. So I'm sorry if you're going to get a bit of noise. So if you don't like the noise, just put your fingers in your ears or whatever and do what I do. PPE. This little thing here, it's an unusual one. These are all the little blocks of wood all put together, and what I've decided to do with this one, what I'm hoping to do with this one, I'm just going to bead the two sides and the bottom, and I'm going to put a little lid on the top like so, and in between here I'm going to, hopefully this week, I'm going to attempt to put a coloured epoxy. Now if you've ever seen coloured epoxy, it's just a beautiful product, very expensive. So I'm looking at, again, people that buy my products, that's where the money's going to go, so I can improve, I can get better glues. I've changed my type of glue, and again, this isn't sponsored, but I've changed to the Gorilla wood glue. It dries a natural colour, the same as PVA. I've used PVA all my woodworking years, but I thought I'll give it a change and see how it goes. And so far so good. But most of my other stuff is waterproof glue, of course, for the chopping boards, etc. And which I've just got an order for, some chopping boards. I've got some orders for some farmers trays, and I've just got a dog bed. So. And that's just the start of it. So I'm going to be very, very busy, and hopefully you can sit alongside me here and watch what I do and how I do it. But back to this. These are all separate little blocks that I've put onto a sheet. And again, that's only an MDF, but it's recycled MDF that I use. I use nothing else but recycled. These have been all offcuts. And what I'll do is I'm going to colour in here with an epoxy. Hopefully if I can get, sorry about that, that is my compressor, which will shut off in a moment, hopefully, or I'll pull the plug on the bottom. Isn't that better? Okay, I've got the radio going on in the background, that's usually blaring out by this time. That's still early in the morning. Yeah, so with these, I'll fill these in with epoxy, coloured epoxy. These will be stained. I was going to paint them and I thought no, because it is a beautiful timber. So I'm going to stain each one of these, probably a little different colour in the centre, and we're just going to see what happens. And I'm going to put hooks on them. Can you think what it's going to be? Yeah, it's going to be a key hanging hook arrangement. So I'll work it out. I'll probably put 2 hooks on here and 2 hooks down there, and I might put one into the middle. And of course, by putting a lid on top of that, if you've got extras things in your car, for your car, that you need to put up on top, you can just put it on top. That'll hang behind your door, which I would always recommend, not at your front door, not at your back door. You can put them behind the door. Don't put them in front, so where people can see your keys. In this day and age, in the 20th century, we've got to think about security, and a lot of cars are being stolen day by day by day because people leave their keys where? At the front door or at the back door. So you get a thief come in through the front or back door, and the first thing they see, keys, thank you very much, I'll just take the car. And that's happening a lot. So with this one, you put it behind the door. Put it so people can't see it directly the minute they walk into a house. So that's what's going to happen. This will just go on top. You can put whatever you like. You can put some little cactus plants on the top. And once I dress it up, I'll show you. I'll put some cactus plants on there just to show you what it will look like. And I think it's serving 2 purposes. It's going to hopefully look good, and it's going to carry at least 4 or 5 keys. So this is a one-of. And I said to you in my earlier vlog that I do things of one-offs. I might make another one similar to this. It won't be exactly the same, because that's why I'm making things that are quite unique. But if people see this when it's all finished and they like it, yeah, fine, I'll make it, but a little bit different. So that's just the way it's going to be. But of course I'll always get the client's approval. Alright, so that's that one. And at the moment what I am doing is I'm going to bead the edges. I wasn't going to bead the edges originally, so all I'm going to do is put a small bead all around the edge as such with 45-degree angle miters, like that. And of course I don't have to do the top. So, and I made this little jig up when I originally made it, so it's a lot easier to use. And that's all I'm going to do is glue that in there, and I'll just use my Ryobi nail gun. Not my Ryobi, I'm sorry, my Azito Roy staple gun, nail gun, which I find very, very good. With glue, it'll be glued up overnight, of course, at least 24 hours. I like to clamp things up and glue them. So that's the intention, that's what I'm going to do. So bear with a little bit of noise, and I'll just keep going as I was. And we'll start on this one. So behind me here, I'll just move that saw. This is my Azito battery operated drop saw. Some call them drop saw, some bench saws. It's a type of a drop saw, so I find it very good. It's only small because I only work on small things usually, so I don't need anything too heavy. So I'll just mark this off, so bear with my back and the noise, and we'll get back to 90 degrees. And as you can hear, very quiet. I haven't got my PPE earmuffs on because it's not a noisy machine. The ripsaw over there is terrible. I think it vibrates the neighbours' teeth out of their head sometimes, unfortunately. So that one's alright there. Make sure that's the right size. On this side, hopefully it should be the same. Yeah. So we'll cut another one out of that. Go back to 45. What I like about this little saw, you just slowly and gently. Got a good guard system. It's a new one. Mark those the same. And I got a little stool because I've got my back's not very good, so I do suffer with back pain. So I like to use this little swivel seat. That's why I made this bench at this height. So it's nice and easy. That one fits in there. That's good. Okay, so just take it out of there. That's no problem. Very good. I'm happy with that. A little wood glue. Grab my little maple gun. I watch a lot of YouTubes and everything else, and I'll probably speed this up anyway because it gets boring just watching me doing this sort of stuff. But I watch a lot on YouTube, and you know, they tell you everything how to do it. You know, like smear glue if you don't know already. Smear it on, and that way it's going to spread right throughout. It's going to make it a lot more secure and less mess on your project, which is nothing worse getting it all over your project. Now this you can wipe off with water. So let me just check that I've got the 45 right. That should be right there. So I always like to double check too with these things. Once you get your 45 out, it won't match up on the other end. Keep it flush at the front. Just put one in there for now. We'll just tap that one down. Okay. Just pop that one up there. Just clean that edge up a little bit. Probably see why my projects take so long. I always told when I do certain things that I'm pedantic. You can look that one up if you don't know it. And how true. I never realised that I was pedantic until somebody told me, and then I looked it up myself many years ago because I'd never heard it before. But yeah, I'm very pedantic in things that I do. I think it's a good way to be. And you just smear the glue on there, so I don't want glue on the surface because nothing worse. I've sanded and sanded and sanded those surfaces, and we don't want to mess them up. So what I will do there, just excuse me, but I'll stand up, put a bit more weight in there. You've got to watch because you can see it's twisting around because of the weight I'm putting on it. That one's in. That one's in. Now, because the grain's going that way, that's easy. I can just run the sander over that, the orbital sander. I can never say that word. Then we'll check the miters up there. That's not bad. But I must say so myself. Pretty good. Give that a bit of a scrub. I think sometimes I go a little bit overboard around pedantic making these things. So I've really got to watch it because these are natural items. I don't want them to make, or I don't want to make them, you know, clean as a whistle. Because then you lose the character of them. Because I'm using, and I've got a load of fence palings, hopefully I'll pick those up this afternoon, but I use pellets, as I've already mentioned, and by using pellets, of course, you've got a nice grain in them, and you don't really, and you've got knots, and you've got all different things, and I think by not cleaning it up too much, you get that rustic look, and that's exactly what I'm after when I build things. This one is a clean item, but probably a little bit too much. Okay, just pop that one on the floor so it's a solid surface. Just tap that little, because I've used on the staple gun, I've used staples in this one. Usually I'll use brads in the gun. I can use both. That's not bad. Now I'll clean those up. I'll just run a sander over them. These will pull in at the top once I put the lid on, but you can see 45-degree miter, 45-degree miter, that's not bad, and I can put a little brad through there if I want, but I'll put the lid on, and then that one hopefully will fit in my jig. That's what beautiful, that's what it's built for. And on the front here, I'll just use, later on, I'll put this on here, and I will just use the planer and bevel that front edge, and everything's donkey-dory. Yeah, that should work out just nice. Okay. I've got a bit of a bow in that timber, so obviously I will have to clamp it pretty tight. Just checking it there, yeah, a little bit of a bow. So I'll finish that off, but I'll put some clamps on this now. Put some extra glue down in here. It doesn't matter about that because that's not seen. So I'll just put extra glue on there and along that top edge. They look alright. Yeah, they're all together nicely. I can even put glue on across the back just to fill those little edges in, make it a little bit more secure. it's not like it's gonna, keys aren't heavy, are they? Sorry about that, stuck the glue in your face. And away we go. Alright, I'm going to put this into the glue. Into the glue, I've already done the glue. It's not even lunchtime yet. I don't know what I'm saying. Typical. Talking to myself here. Alright, I'll go and put the clamps on it, and we'll come back and I will show you the other little project that I've got on the go. And another good bit of news, I'm picking up an HMV vintage radiogram, and I've been looking. It's funny, you go back on YouTube and you just start looking at different things. Now, I thought I saw a sticker on there that the lady sent me, and I saw the age of 1980. And I thought, oh, this can't be vintage, it's not too old. But what it was a sticker that when they serviced it, they put a new stylus in there. And if you know what a stylus is with radiograms, and it plays records, of course, that's why it's a radiogram, the old-fashioned radiogram, back in my day. And she's throwing it out. Probably doesn't realise the value of them. It needs work, it needs a lot of work. So I'm going to restore that because I do like restoring. I've got tables and chairs which I'm going to do today. Chairs are fine, but the table I've taken the centre out because they had a big crack down there, and that's actually teak. So I'm going to do that today. Anyway, this radiogram I'm going to pick up, and I tried to look it up on YouTube, but hours and hours and hours. I tried every search to try and find one, see what they're worth. There was only one, and they're actually from England because they're HMVs, Her Majesty's Voice. And the cheapest I found was semi-restored, $1,100. I thought they would be up probably a little bit more than that, but when I looked at the age, I was wrong. It's around about a 1960, 62 HMV, and I could only find one in the whole of YouTube, and that was in a museum, and the value of that was $1,100, and it was only semi-restored. So I'm hoping that when I get that here, I can work on it, and I've got somebody that knows a lot about electronics, so we'll look at the electronic side, get it all working. But it's an absolute beautiful unit. There's a broken leg on it, but the body itself looks pretty good on the photos. She's given me some really good photos. So I've got to travel a bit to get it, but I think it's going to be well worth it, and that'll probably resell, I don't know, $1,200 up to $2,000. I might even put it in auction and see what I can get it online for an auction. So anyway, that's another little exciting thing I was playing around with last night on the internet. So I'm always looking at new ideas and new things. Alright, I'll shut up, I'll get off, and I'll glue this up before it dries. Okay, I'll see you soon.